Hi there, welcome to Magic and Healing. This week you have Tammy and Bobbi as your hosts, and we're talking about how you show up authentically as parents or how we don't, and the guilt, resentment, and loss of self that ensues. So earlier this week, I got a text from a longtime friend, and this is what it says. Am I allowed to say I'm tired of being a mom? I don't regret being a mom, but I'm tired of it. Tired of being a punching bag, only used when needed, and then treated like shit otherwise. Does that make me sound like a bitch and ungrateful for my kids? I'm just so fucking tired of being treated like I can't have emotions and express them without consequences. I am always feeling like the ball is going to drop, just waiting for the next fucked up thing to happen. I'm emotionally tapped the fuck out.
That pretty much says it all, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yep. Yep. That in between being authentic and then being the mom that's our role, is to be there for everybody else. Like that's what I learned. That's what my mom showed me. That's what my grandma showed me, is to be there for everybody else and not yourself. And it does. You there's guilt if you do stand in your boundary and be authentically you, and there's resentment when you don't. That it just builds, so you got to pick your poison, I guess. I don't know, like, pick your poison.
My very favorite Gabor Mate quote is, if given the choice between guilt and resentment, choose guilt every time because resentment is soul suicide.
Mm, this is true. mm, that one's a good one.
Hmm. And I
Mhm.
can feel it in of all the words bitten back, all the authenticity not said, all the tears kept back so that I don't make them feel bad about the way that they're making me feel really fucking bad.
Yes, what we won't do to ourselves, like, yeah, we'll sit in the uncomfortableness of being not who we are so that they can feel comfortable. Like, how screwed up is that? How screwed up
Mhm.
is that? It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. But it's not just when they're little, it's when they're teenagers, and then it's when they're older. And you, like, Christmas coming up and then not being able to be in all places for each kid. As a mom, I can't be in three different places, and then I have my own mom on top of that, so I always feel guilty. And then that guilt does turn to resentment, because it's, what the hell about me?
Mhm.
Where do I want to be at Christmas? What, yeah, I should be able to be who I am and where I want to be without feeling that. It's a struggle every year. And I know my oldest has said to me, Mom, just choose you. Just choose your happy. That's easy to say.
Mhm.
And it's very hard to do. Like, it's hard to do. It is.
Mhm.
And especially, I have the broken family, not broken family, but the blown apart family of divorce, and not a cohesive family unit, and strife amongst siblings, and yeah, it's a difficult thing to navigate. And I think as moms, we need to support each other through it all, because yeah, we need to have each other's backs. We need to be in each other's corners, because it's the only way that I see to heal a family generational trauma, is to be that one that says, no, no more. Like, to be authentic, to be who I am, to not feel guilty about everything that I choose for me, to not feel resentment that I am pushing myself to the back burner consistently all the time. I know it's not all about me all the time, but it tends to be not about me at all. right? Like,
Hmm.
that's what I feel. It's a hard one.
Yeah.
And I don't have the little kids anymore, and I don't think it gets. I honestly think that when they were little, at least I could control the environment. I could control that. Now I can't control anything. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But they still come to you, and you want to be the mom and fix it, but you can't. You can't, because they're grown up. They're grown ass people now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a
Yeah.
tough
Just,
one.
I'm just letting the words land. I think what's added to my struggle or the way that I'm showing up these days is that whole notion is like you never know the last time is the last time.
Mm,
And my kids are on that like brink of really finding a new level of independence. And so I have a lot of internal dialogue about that these days. Like, oh, maybe I don't want to go play catch right now. Um, but what if I don't? And what if it's the last time they ask?
hmm.
And like I can feel that in the pit of my belly, like, oh my goodness, like I don't want them to stop asking. And there are times I don't want to play catch.
Yeah.
Um, or I don't, whatever it may be. Maybe I just don't want to do it in that moment. And I think historically, I was just doing it because that was my job.
Hmm.
And there was sometimes a lot of resentment, a really gross, shameful, I could take it to a shameful place of the amount of resentment I felt in moments. Um, and despite the internal dialogue and the crazy making portion of that, the flip side of it is if I don't engage in the internal dialogue, it's like a drop in moment and a check in. Like, is it meaningful to do this right now? Like, is there another moment you could take a pause and do for yourself? And can you show up authentically? Because I can show up resentfully. I
Hmm.
have done that. But can I show up authentically? And I have found lately with that notion of they're just getting more and more independent that I can show up authentically in the moment. And I am profoundly grateful for the presence that that has offered me and the
Hmm.
shift that that has offered me for sure. Because before it was guilt and shame and blame and resentment and yucky, sticky ick that just had this residual. Bleh.
Yes. The shame. I yeah, that. Yep, that's powerful because it is. You, I totally get what you're laying down. I'm picking it up because yeah, you're resentful, and and you do. Then you feel shame because you are resentful, and you just get
Mhm.
stuck in that pattern. And what I guess what I found when I was like when I really tried so hard just to be me, right, with my kids, just to be who I am, to be authentic. And then they get angry because I'm not doing whatever it is that they want me to do, right? Like I'm choosing me, and I've always been the mom that's choose them, you know?
Mhm.
So this is like laying a boundary and having a tantrum over the boundary. And sometimes I'll cave, and then I feel horrible about that like the whole scenario. I feel horrible about it.
Hmm.
So then you get into that, the mind saying it's a no-win situation. It's a no-win situation. But on the flip side of that, it is a win situation if you just choose you. It's an easy thing to say, hard to do. Hard to do when those littles have come out of you and they're a part of you, and your heart is their heart, and it doesn't change when they grow up. It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
It just gets, the problems just are different, and you still try to be everything to everyone, and you can't do it. You just need to be everything for you, and therefore that makes it possible for you to be more for everyone. If you're just everything for you, but boy, is that hard to learn. It's so hard.
Yeah. I
Sucks me
think
in.
the difference, like when they're little, they still look at you with those doughy eyes, and you're like, you are their world, and they love you so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it gets harder as they get older because they don't look at you with doughy eyes. They say, well, you're kind of useless.
Right.
Thanks a lot. You just fucked that all up.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, can't you just look at me with the adoring eyes like I'm the best thing in your world? Oh, right. So that part's gone.
Yep.
And now I just get to deal with this angsty, angry human that I raised on resentment and guilt and
Mm.
shame or whatever it is. Um, another another really great quote I'm working with these days is Dr. Becky Kennedy, and she's like a parenting guru of our time. Um, and she says, "It's my job as a parent to set the boundary, and it's your job as the child to have big feelings about it."
Ooh.
And so I've been using that across the board from 11 to 25. And what else is there to say?
Nothing.
Right?
Nothing.
So in those moments, I'm glad I'm working with older humans because, yeah, it's my job to set the boundary and it's your job to have big feelings about it. And
Mm.
then I just get to hold that boundary.
I think we need to
And
have a.
I get to have big feelings about it. Maybe it's guilt, maybe it's shame, maybe it's whatever. Maybe it's resentment when I don't hold the boundary. And then
Mm.
I'm like, oh shit, here I am again.
Shit. Damn it. Damn it, universe.
Yeah.
Showing me what I need to know. Ooh, that's a good one, Bobby. Mm. Her name?
Dr. Becky Kennedy. She goes by Dr. Becky. She wrote Good Inside. She's got a podcast.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I have a new
Mhm.
favorite. I have a new favorite song. I watched this movie on Apple. It's Fiona and Son, and she's a single mom, and they have this one song on this movie, and the one line that I'm like, it just hit me in the gut. She sings that sometimes I hate you for reminding me of me. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. Cause oh, that is, yeah, that infuriates me. That's the trigger. They act it because it's in me. Like you reminded me of me as I was growing up. And I'm
Mhm.
like, boy, oh boy. But that made a lot of
Mhm.
sense. Hmm. So I listened to
Mhm.
that song and I go, oh, there it is. I hate you for reminding me of me.
Oh, absolutely. And
That's
having kids has made me want to call my mother on the other side 1,000 times and say, I'm so sorry.
right.
I'm so sorry. I was such an asshole.
Yeah. I gotta say, I have to say, give my kids kudos. All three of them have said that to me. I'm so sorry, Mom.
Hmm.
Because now they all have like not not my daughter, but like my two boys have kids that they see that, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they see the whole gamut now, and they go, "Ooh, wow." Hmm. My daughter,
Mm-hmm.
she's doesn't have any littles, but she's got the insight that now she goes, "Oh shit, mom, I'm sorry." and
Mm-hmm.
and that's a moment of clarity right there for them and for me, is, oh, you do see that. But then we fall back into the groove of, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a hard situation. It's one that I don't know if it'll ever be real easy. I don't know. Probably not.
No, yeah, I was just sitting in on a Gabor Mate call today, and he shared a quote. I don't know where it's from, but it literally said, like, we are comprised of our trauma, our stories, our biology, and the environments we were raised in,
Mm-hmm.
our habitual response patterns.
Yeah.
That's our first go-to. So it's not impossible to make new neural pathways, but it certainly is
Mm.
not the easiest thing.
No, because yeah, that's right. It's like that sticky rut, right?
Mhm.
Something happens, and like we were talking before, like there's a 50% chance that it's going to go wrong, but there's a 50% chance it's going to go right. But my brain, and I will say this truthfully, has habitually gone to the sticky,
Mhm.
mucky rut of, it's not going to work out.
Mhm.
And it is so hard to change that. But as I've worked and worked and worked, I'm more aware of it. Like I, I do it, but then I'm aware of it right away, so that I can change it. I just want to be to the point where I just don't do it anymore. Just don't do it. But it
Mhm.
it doesn't work that way. I just become aware of it faster.
Yeah, and that's brilliant
Yeah.
because before you weren't even aware of it.
No, no,
Before I wasn't even aware of it. I was just on autopilot doing the things.
doing the things and having resentment and feeling bad about it and feeling guilty about it, and
Wash, rinse, repeat.
do it
Absolutely.
exactly the same way because that's what you were shown, and
Mhm.
that's what the box says in society that you should be, and the fixer of
Yeah.
all, and never ever wanting to, yeah, never wanting to take for yourself, but just give, give, give. And it doesn't work. Millions of women will tell you it doesn't work.
Yeah. Millions of women have tried it
I've tried it and
and are still
have,
trying it.
oh my God, and have gone to the grave with resentment and shame and guilt. I
Mhm.
don't want to be
Yeah.
that woman. I don't
Well,
want
the
to be,
people pleaser.
ugh.
Like, I would have never said that I'm a people pleaser.
Mm,
I don't want to please other people. And yet, when I look in my own little mini system here,
mm,
oh, huh, I did that to make you happy. I did that to change your experience. I did that. I did that. Oh,
mm.
shit. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Because, yeah, like I think about it, and I honestly, like, I can see my mom. I can see her in my childhood doing that exact same thing, and
Hmm.
then being so upset with herself, like just being so resentful, but not knowing what to do with that energy.
Hmm.
And I'm like, not doing it. Nope. But
Well, and
yeah,
you remember my share from last week, I think it was, and saying that my 11-year-old stood at the island and said, "Don't choose me over you. Choose guilt, not resentment." And I was
no kidding.
like, all right, okay.
Oh,
And I have like, I will go back and I will say, hey, look, I said I would do this.
mm-hmm,
And I've realized it's actually taking a part of my soul. And I can't show up authentically in the way that I want to be here for you right now. And I have to change my mind.
That's
And most
beautiful.
of the time, people are like, yeah, you totally should. There are a few people still on my peripheral that are like, you said you'd do it.
Mm.
If you agreed to it, you follow through. And that might be the way you live. I can't. It literally kills a piece of me inside. A little part of me dies when I choose you over me.
Oof. That's a that's a beautiful thing, Bobby. That oof. Hmm. And it's so true. It is. You just cut your own little hunks of your own soul out just so that we can make everybody happy. So that
Mhm,
there's no confrontation or yeah. Yeah,
mhm.
it's true. So true. Oh wow. My mind is blown.
But I feel like it's part of the conversation we keep having about living our life in our head.
Mm. Hmm.
So I don't know about you, I'll speak for me. There are a lot of times I'm like, I can't do that. I can't honor me in this moment because if I do, then they will X, Y, and Z. I have no idea if they will X, Y, and Z. Maybe historically they have X, Y, and Z their entire life. But maybe this time they actually won't. And they'll say, yeah, Bobby, go honor you. It's good. Um, but I don't even give them the opportunity to because I'm already 7 years down the road and we're not friends anymore or whatever the thing is, right? And I was having tea with a friend of mine and she was talking about how she shows up for people and like if they say that they need help, she'll just appear to help. And then when she needs help, nobody shows up. And I said, as she's telling me how like nobody shows up, I'm like, but who did you ask for help? And she like kind of pauses. You can see like, what do you mean? I just told you. I'm like, but who did you actually ask for help? And what did you tell them you needed help with? Because the truth was is she was alluding to the fact that she needed help.
Mm.
It's not like, hey Tammy, I can't feed myself today. Can you bring me soup? Because most people then are like, yes, I can, or no, I can't. And I can't bring you soup, but I actually have salad in my fridge and I could bring that to you. Right.
Yeah.
And I've done that historically. I do now. I can ask for help and be like, hey, this is what I need very specifically. Historically, I would just be like alluding to the fact that I need help.
Yeah. Because we're really bad at asking. Mhm.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Because we
So
don't
bad.
we don't want to be a burden to anybody. God no.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're the carriers of burden, but we wouldn't want to put our burden on anybody.
Right?
That's so fucked up. It's so
Right.
fucked up.
And most humans I know love to show up. They
Absolutely.
just want a task. Just give me a task. Like, even like, I'm still bad for it. I'll be like, need anything? The most common response to that is no, I'm good. Right?
Hmm.
Now it's like, can I bring you soup? Or I don't even ask. Soup is arriving on your porch at
Hmm.
whatever o'clock.
Yeah.
Because
It's
most people
hard.
I know won't ask for help. So I just try and find a way that it's already fits into my life. So there's no resentment in that soup. It's pure love and magic.
Yeah.
And
And I truly think, well, I guess it's a more of a woman thing. Do you think that do you
making
think
people
that
stoop? What do you mean?
I don't know, like having a hard time asking for help? Or do you think that it's equally hard for a man?
I know my partner does not ask for help. If he wants help, he will go and get his brother. Even if there's somebody else that could do it better.
Yeah.
and he might have more fun with, it would be like he will just go and get his brother.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah,
can't say universally across the board, but
it probably is. It's just that being a woman, I see that as more of a, yeah. But
well, and my mother didn't ask for help.
no, no, my mom didn't either. Nope. I think
No.
that it was looked down upon. I really do. I think it was
Yeah.
somewhere along the line they got told that they should be doing it themselves, and yeah, like somewhere we must have heard this or saw this, or that it just didn't grow inside us without anything. Like somewhere we've been
Hmm.
shown that. Somewhere we've been shown that it's not right to ask for help. Don't want to be a burden to anybody.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about that. Like, I don't remember it ever being like explicitly said.
I don't think it's been explicitly said, but I think it's been modeled to us
Absolutely.
over and over again. Yeah.
Hmm.
That, and I just visited my mom today, and she's 93, and and the two words that come out of her mouth the most all the time, I'm fine.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
fine. Clearly she's not, and I'm fine.
Hmm.
Like, and she almost, if I questioned her more specifically, gently, tried to, you know,
Hmm.
just to get her to talk about how she's feeling or whatever, she gets angry. She gets snappy. Like, like no, I can't go there with her. She's just like, mm-mm, I'm fine.
Hmm.
My God. Eat an I'm
Hmm.
fine sandwich for lunch every day. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Hmm. And honestly, somebody will say, ask me how I am. And if I say those words, I get a shiver that goes down my back because it's like my mom is standing right there. She's
Mm.
whispering in my ear, you liar. You're not fine.
Oh
You're
my God.
not fine.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
famous for responding with that actually tells me nothing about your experience of your experience at all. And there's some people I will just accept my I'm fine because they
Yeah.
have no desire to go any deeper.
Hmm.
And other people I just call them on their shit and be
Yep.
like, hey, actually dig a little deeper, please. I'm not one of those autopilot response humans.
Right. That word fine. Fine. Oh my gosh. Yep. Yep. It's moments though, like my mom's a tough lady. She's tough. She's been through it in her life. And I honestly, there's maybe I can count on one hand how many times I've seen her just show me, let go, and feel all the emotion that
Hmm.
she's actually just holding it all in.
Hmm.
And and yeah, and the beauty of that, even though it's a messy situation or it's like you just want to do anything to make her feel better, but just being able to allow her to actually express all of the shit is,
Hmm.
she doesn't allow herself to do that. And it's a beautiful thing to watch when she does, because there's that human in you. There she is, and she's beautiful, right?
And I think that's really important to note because you are the child in that
Mm-hmm.
relationship and you
Yeah.
can see the beauty in being allowed to witness her true, authentic experience of feeling her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there's a lot of moms out there, a lot of women out there who are, afraid to be vulnerable and let their kids see how they're feeling and what's real and true for them because it might break them or upset them or wreck them. Or I think there's far more damage to be done to not letting people witness our experience of our experience and full, real, and true in real time emoting.
Mhm.
Like there is something so beautiful about witnessing that and like having a conversation with someone whose voice shakes and the tears start to fall. And typically the response immediately is, I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? Like, this is a gift. I'm honored to sit here and witness you actually real time feeling your feelings and sharing them with me. Like, that is a gift.
It is. It is a beautiful gift. Actually, yeah, those are the moments that I've actually saw my mom, like who she truly is.
Mhm.
And instead of just shoving everything in and having that armor so, like, bottled up, like not open at all, just doing what she's expected to do, and making sure she's got a smile on her face even though she's dying inside. it
Yeah.
I want the other. I want to see, and the gift of her letting it all go so that I could see that. Like, those are the moments I remember, not the fake, just making everybody else happy crap. I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see the real stuff. I want to talk about the real things. Show me your real emotions.
Yeah. And that reminds me of the text that started our conversation. And maybe that's the I'm tired of being a mom part. I'm
Hmm.
tired of that role and all the duties and responsibilities that I've subscribed to that fall within that and the ways I'm supposed to show up or the ways I thought
Mm.
I was supposed to show up to fill that job description. And in that case, I hear you, sister. I am tired of being a mom too. And it's like my declaration in this moment to put down that title and like show up as Bobbi.
Hmm.
I may still be a mom in moments, but like my first job is to show up as me.
Hmm. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, it is.
Mm,
Because when you show up as you, it amplifies you as a mom. It amplifies you as a friend. It amplifies you as a wife, a partner. Like,
mhm,
when we show up as ourselves, and it's, this is who I am. Like, I am not going to be anybody else for anybody. I am me. That
mhm,
improves every relationship in your life. And I truly believe that. I just wish that I I wish all of the experiences that I've really shown up as who I am has made me feel better, but the reaction of other people, it all plays out in not a very good way. And so then you go back in your head where I don't want to be in my head, I want to be in my heart. But if I go back in my head, then it's a reinforcement. Oh, don't show anybody who you really are. Well, that's
mm,
bullshit. It's bullshit. So yeah, like I said, I think moms, we need to stick together because it is a hard damn role. It's a hard job. And
mhm,
being a mom, it consumes everything in our lives. Whereas it should be being us
mhm,
consumes us. And therefore we're better at everything else in our lives because we know who we are. We stand true to us. We're authentic in who we are. And I think it's, I think that sometimes is what's missing. Like, I'm just going to talk about with me and my kids. That was missing. So there was no respect there,
mhm,
for who I really was. There was no respect there. I was given respect when I did what they wanted me to do.
Mhm.
and I'm not saying, like, my kids are beautiful humans and I love them dearly. It's
Mhm.
but that's just the way it plays out. And then when you try to be who you truly are, that's not what they want. So
Mhm.
you got to decide for yourself, like, this is for you, this is your gift to yourself, and then it overflows, right? Like, give from the saucer, not the cup. Let it
Yeah.
overflow into the saucer.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like part of my internal definition of mom is like doormat,
Mm.
like
Hmm.
servitude.
Hmm.
Don't worry, mom will do it, whether she wants to or not. She'll just do it.
Doer
And
of all
like,
things.
right? And so that's only true if I continue to perpetuate that belief. And the moment I um, set my boundary and allow them to have big feelings about it, it'll take a little while. It might take a little while for them to adjust to it, but it's like a new way of relating. It's a new way of showing up. I'm not a doormat. The role of mom actually does not include doormat in the job description. I'm taking that one out. My mother may have
Yeah.
led me to believe that was part of the job description. I'm taking that one out.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to post new job descriptions for moms. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's definitely, and we also, as well, I do it to myself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I am my worst enemy because it's all the conversation that I have with myself in my head, the
Mm-hmm.
story, the stories I tell about my thoughts, or, somebody says something and then I tack on a whole story behind it when it was really just three little words or whatever, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
ever remember it, but I sure do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we just do it to ourselves.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
worst enemy.
Absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
stay the hell out of your head. Just stay out of here. Sit here in your heart. Because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, it's tough. It's hard. And I think that's why it's so meaningful when women connect over the same thing, because we're all experiencing it. It's powerful. That's a powerful thing. And then for me, it's it's so beautiful to know that, oh my God, I'm not alone. Like, I have these thoughts that, like, your friend in her text, like, I don't want to be a mom anymore. I'm sick of
Mm-hmm.
it. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And 99% of all the other women out there have that thought, but we're also ashamed of thinking it, or that we feel that way. We don't talk about it. And I think there's power in talking about it. It's okay to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I stopped calling Cameron my husband and started calling him my lover because I didn't like the duties and responsibilities that fall under the title of wife or have historically in my brain. The story I tell about what a wife does and what a husband does, like, that's no fun at all. I'm going to call you my lover because that has way better job description. So I just need to find the equivalent to that, um, or rewrite the job description for mom so I can show up authentically without all the outdated roles and responsibilities that I myself have tacked onto that and then told a shit story of resentment and about. So, yeah,
All
I'm
things.
retitling it all.
I think that's what we should do. I think we should write a new job description and we should post it and see how many people apply. A new way to do mom, a new way to be a mom. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm writing that down.
Hmm. New job description, because the one
Mhm.
that stands in our head sucks.
Yep.
That is what it is.
I love it.
How about we do the old job description is in our head and the new one comes from the heart? I think it's more
Hmm.
meaningful. I think it's more meaningful.
Absolutely. And that's been my shift lately is getting rid of servitude and dropping into presence in my heart and showing up authentically. And it has shifted everything,
Everything.
everything. You can't
Beautiful.
get it wrong when you come from your heart. You
No,
can't
you can't. It
because
might,
people can feel it.
yeah, it might be messier coming from your heart, and a lot of us don't like to get messy, right? Like that's what I.
Yeah,
A lot of us don't like to get messy, but it can. Yeah, it you can't go wrong when it comes from there.
right? The ripple effect of coming from my heart is 1,000 times more magical than the ripple effect of it coming from servitude and resentment. Ain't
Hmm.
no one part of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So as we close off, just the quote from that lady again. Sorry about the boundaries and the feelings. What was it again?
Yeah, Dr. Becky Kennedy. It's my job as the parent to set the boundary, and it's your job as the child to have big feelings about it.
That's that's a good thing to close on. That we need a
Hmm.
we need a bulletin board with that on it.